Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's latest episode on my YouTube video series. And today we're going to talk about why or how the S tier location properties in JB will outperform the rest, right? And I'm doing this video because recently we get a lot of questions. Hey, Ryan, I want to invest in JB, right? I want to buy for investment. There are a lot of projects in JB now. Which project should I buy? I think JB is a good investment now because RTS is coming, right? I want to know what you think. Which project should I buy, or can I buy project A, or can I buy project B, etc., etc. Now I'm going to repeat some things from my earlier videos. Actually, in my earlier videos, I've already explained some of my recommendations, but I'll repeat here again for you. So number one is my preference: buy nearest, as near as you can to RTS station, walking distance, right? And this is the best. Buy walking distance to RTS station. Number two, buy mixed development, right? Mixed developments, you've got retail or office or hotel component. This is the best, right? This is my two recommendation when you come to buy in JB. Now, a lot of people are buying in JB today because number one, RTS is coming, right? RTS is coming end of 2026, another 18 months plus minus from now. And when that happens, we're going to conservatively add maybe 50,000 to 100,000 travelers every day, additional new ones from Singapore to JB, vice versa. So this is a big bunch of travelers who come to JB. And of course, the first place to benefit will be anything near the RTS station, right? So that's when people say, I want to buy JB because of RTS, but they're going to buy some location that's not near RTS. Then I get very confused. I don't catch ball. I don't know why. They say, hey, you want to buy because of RTS, right? Then why are you going to buy so far from RTS, right? So then so sometimes I don't know how people think, right? So if you want to buy a JB because of RTS, then you must buy near the RTS, right? That is the most obvious thing to do. So if you look at this screenshot which I've shared in my earlier videos also, right? So this is a Google Earth map of Johor Bahru, right? And the blue colors are RTS station, and of course the small circle is the S tier, the super tier, right? All these areas, generally speaking, walking distance to RTS. Of course, there's some consideration for geographical features like highways and things like that, and maybe a link bridge will allow you to walk further than usual. But the small circle is the S tier. So anything project within this circle, generally speaking, is S tier, and goodbye, because you can walk to RTS, which is very important. I'll explain later. And everything, the big circle, right, is a A tier, where we can say it's about 10 to 15 minutes drive away. So the reason why S tier is better because S tier land is limited, right? You go back to the basics of property investment, is that demand versus supply. So if you have a situation where demand is going up because of RTS, then you go and buy an area where there's a lot of supply, A tier or further away, right? Then you giving trouble to yourself. You go and buy high demand, high supply, then you sort of cancel each other out. So it's better to buy S tier where supply is a lot more limited, right? Because the land there is limited. And I give you an example of how the S tier properties will outperform the A tier properties. So what will happen is everybody actually, in a sense, prefers to stay near S tier one. S tier is the best location. Everybody understand this. The reason that I always get that, why I cannot buy S tier is because price is too expensive, right? I go and buy A tier, is cheaper. And that's true. So A tier properties now are probably selling 800 plus per square foot, whereas S tier properties are selling about over 1,000 ringgit per square foot minimum, right? So people say, S tier too expensive, I cannot accept the price, I want to buy A tier, right? This is their logic, buy cheaper, right? So, but I give you an example of how S tier will outperform A tier, is that in the scenario of rental. Now, everybody prefer to stay S tier because S tier is the walking distance to RTS. But who don't want walking distance to RTS, right? Everybody also want walking distance to MRT, right? No, I have never heard a person that tell me, say that, I buy investment, I want to buy far away from MRT, right? So everybody want to buy near the RTS station. So what will happen is, if we enter into a bear market, means market turns bad, okay, demand drop or demand not enough supply too many, right? What will happen is, I am an S tier property owner, I will slash my price to the A tier rental, and all the A tier tenant will come and stay at my S tier property, correct? Because S tier property, the tenant know is better, like for those Malaysians who work in Singapore, they know that, go to Singapore, stay in S tier is better because easier, shorter time. But they cannot afford to rent S tier because S tier rent is too high, or they cannot find any S tier unit because the S tier supply is limited. So they go and rent A tier. But what happens if I'm an S tier property owner? I slash my price. All the A tier tenant will come and stay at my S tier property. So this is how I will effectively kill all the A tier tenants, right? And even though, yes, Ryan, but you're renting out at the lower market rate. Yeah, but at least I got tenant, other people no tenant, right? If I have to top up more, at least I just top up a little bit more, right, to pay my rental, my mortgage every month, right? But I still have tenant compared to other projects in A tier that don't have tenant. And in this scenario, right, then the price really doesn't matter really well, because in the oversupply situation, less and less, not enough demand, right? Then the A tier properties will face what? They will face vacancy. They will have units which are empty, cannot find tenant, because everybody moved from the A tier to the S tier. So I hope that explains, right, where ultimately, right, even though you're paying a higher price for S tier property, right, you must buy S tier property, especially in JB scenario, because everybody wants to be near to RTS to go to Singapore. That is the most important factor why S tier properties will win, right? Of course, the other thing you must consider is S tier supply is limited, right? Now, if you look again at the map, right, there's only that much land for S tier. And yes, there are some S tier projects today, right? There will be some also in next year, next couple of years or so, right? As we use up all this available land near the RTS station. But if you look at A tier, look at the A tier circle, it's so big, right? It's easier for developers to find land in the A tier to build projects as well. So A tier supplier can actually go up a lot one, right? It's whether the developer or the landowner want to launch a project or don't want to launch it, because there's a lot more choices for A tier land. So in that sense, the supply for A tier can go up quite a fair bit. Just look at Danga Bay alone, right? Danga Bay, if you drive by Danga Bay, there's a lot of empty land, right? This all land can easily become project, right? It's only developer want to build or don't want to build only, correct? So same thing, like if you go to Larkinton, you go north, right? You go along Pelangi, of course Pelangi and Sentosa, a lot of pockets of land are disappearing. But as I mentioned earlier, Holiday Plaza has also been considered to convert. So it's a lot of land potentially that can be built if market remains stronger, right? And all these projects, if they are launched, can contribute to a lot more supply in A tier versus S tier, where the land is very, very limited. One more thing to point out also, that historically, right, people like to say JB condo don't make money, right? But you think about it, right? If you look at all the condo performance in JB, right, S tier location condo has held their price, and in many cases go up in price, right, in S tier because of RTS, right? Whereas many condo project in JB, even in A tier, right, are still losing money, right? Or some, if they make money, also make very, very minimal in the A tier, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Historically already shown, performance is the property is best when they are in the S tier next to RTS versus properties further away from the RTS. So if you tell me, Ryan, I repeat, I want to buy JB property for investment because of RTS, then you go and buy something very far away from the RTS. I really don't know what you are thinking. Okay, your statement and your action is contradicting yourself. Okay, so if you want to buy JB for investment, buy near RTS, right? That's my message to you in this video. I hope you guys understand. So my name is Ryan Koo. I'm a property agent, right? If you guys want to buy property in JB, whether for investment in this video, but many of you are also buying for retirement own use purposes, right? Then of course, retirement own use purposes, you buy what you like, whichever property you like. Okay, you can contact me. I'm more than happy. This is my number, 81261626. You can WhatsApp me. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you or explain to you some of the basic concepts of buying real estate in Malaysia, right? You can watch my channel here, lots of videos about helping retirees and other property investors to buy property in JB. Okay, if you guys want to buy property in JB, contact me. Like I said, no obligations discussion. More than happy to talk to you about this. Okay, hope you like this video. Do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Every subscription helps to get this channel reach out there to more and more people. Thank you very much, and bye bye.